Cool. Awesome. So if there's any questions, a small group, obviously just bring yourself off mute if you got something in particular you want to dive into. I know Gina had a question she already sent through, which we'll be touching on, and at the end we'll go through any questions specifically as well. But a lot of the stuff we're going to be doing today is action based, so there is certain actions you can put into place. That's just my Insta handle there if anyone wants to follow along, because we're always putting tips and tricks and whatnot up, and we'll get stuck in. So the whole point of the discussion today is, are you blocking your business success? Now, that doesn't mean you haven't got a really solid business or really successful business, but there's different levels we can get to, right? And for me, business success isn't just the turnover and what your business is doing. It's about balance. It's about you as a person, as a family man, like Rick was talking about, or woman, and how to achieve that balance, still be really profitable and not burn out. Because sometimes in the pursuit of business, we can burn ourselves out because we're doing too much and we're going too one-sided. We want to sort of look at a holistic point of view as us as the business owner, because we're the one running the ship. And I think this sort of became a lot more apparent over the last probably 3 or 4 years, COVID and world politics and everything going on. I'm starting to train a lot more on mental health as well as business and how they intertwine. And we're going to sort of be diving into that today. And we're going to go into some strategies that you can implement. But we got these jumpers made up for our mastermind clients and retreat clients, and the back of it has this on it. And it's, you're the main character of your story. You decide how it's written. Now, why I wrote that on the back is because we're in charge of how we feel, we're in charge of our results, and a lot of time we're looking outside of ourselves for those things. And what I mean by that is it might be a quick marketing fix or a new sales strategy. They're outside things that we try to get to band-aid approach how we're feeling or how the business is going. But when we tap into the inside, which we work on ourselves first, those things sort of translate organically and work way better. So when I'm working with my clients one-on-one, we start with the business owner. We start with you, and we crafting your mindset and your energy levels to be able to produce the results that you want. And that's what we're going to be sort of looking at today. So in saying that, what we tend to do is we don't change our thinking. We try to change something outside ourselves. And that's why it generally doesn't work. So, a lot of photographers that I work with, when they come in, the reason they're not getting results is they refuse to change how they're showing up, and they're just trying to find that band-aid approach, that new marketing campaign, that coach that can just give them the strategy to help, right? Now that is important, but first of all, you have to understand that everything starts and stops with you. So how you're showing up, and we're going to go into energy and frequency, which can seem a little woo-woo, but everything I do and what I teach is very science backed as well, and understanding that is really important. So you have to be a little bit open-minded here when I talk about frequency and energy, and I'll sort of dive into what I mean by that. But let's sort of go into understanding this as well. Like when I say we have a distorted view of reality, what I'm meaning is we live our lives in our head. So what I mean is you're always constantly thinking about, generally, most people are thinking about what's coming up, the future, what you need to get done, stresses about the future, what could go wrong, or the past, what you didn't do, what you should have done. And very rarely are we in the present moment. When we're in our heads that way, we're distorting our view of reality. It's not reality we're seeing, it's our reality. That's why when there's a car accident, there's a phenomenon where 5 people can see the same car accident or same thing, and they get totally different stories about it because they're seeing it through their lens. They're seeing it through the way they see it. And then what's happening with the negative thought patterns that most people have going on, it distorts our view of reality. So what we're going to try to do here is create some shifts in your consciousness mindset so your reality is different, and you get some really transformative results from that, some quantum leaps. So when I work with a client, we're not trying to incrementally change their business and life. We're trying to jump it dramatically. And that requires real shifts in how we're doing things, real quantum leaps. But it only happens when you actually implement and step out of your comfort zone and do some of the things we're going to be talking about today. So as a sort of a synopsis, these are the things we're going to be doing today. We're going to start on energy, then we're going to go through how habit can produce the energy we want. Um, let's get rid of this little box here. Productivity, mindfulness, how to avoid burnout, and that sort of comes back to mindfulness and self-care, putting boundaries in place, and then we're going to sort of finish on love, joy, and connection and why that's important as well, and how all these things are interlinked with each other. So we're going to do a little task to start with. So get a pen on piece of paper out, or um, you're going to have to add some numbers up here. So these are the 5 areas: sleep, exercise, nutrition, hydration. They're where we get our energy, and mindset, which is this is stress. That's what depletes our energy. So I want you to give yourself a score out of 20 for sleep. How well in this, let's call it last 2 weeks. Let's just put a base level on the last 2 weeks. How well are you sleeping? 20 is great. 20 is like 8, 9 hours a night, solid sleep. 1 or 2 is terrible. Staying for exercise doesn't mean you're, practicing for running a marathon or anything. Just are you moving your body consistently and getting exercise? 20 is good, 1's terrible. And just be honest with yourself. You don't have to share your scores here. I would like you to, but you don't have to. Nutrition. So how are you fueling your body on a general level? And it's not about like being on a diet. It's about your diet generally, what you're consuming. Hydration. Are you drinking, enough water? 2 liters is generally the consensus, 2 liters of water a day. And the last one is stress. So that's the opposite. So if you're highly stressed, you get a low score. If you've got not much stress, you can give yourself a higher score. Now I want you to add those up and you'll come up with a score out of 100. If anyone's brave enough to share, there's no right or wrong here either. There's no, and I'll talk you through what you want to be looking to aim for, but all this is about is awareness. When we're aware of where we're sitting, because what I want you to look at out of the 100, this is your battery level when you start the day. With what's going on at the moment, and these can be very, very easily shifted, but I would like to know if anyone's willing to share their scores. All right, I've got the chat up here. Let me open that. Wait, just chat. There we go.
I want to comment on how much I've actually liked doing this process, Joel, because it's a part of this thing that you look at in the mornings. And for some reason, when you're writing it down and like you're making it real, your decisions. Like, so if you're saying, all right, like yesterday, I really, didn't drink enough water, but the process of having to write that down is almost owning up to yourself that you haven't done it or you haven't slept enough, and
Yeah,
knowing that these are things that you can change. For some reason just brings it more top of mind. Like I'm going to need to write about this tomorrow, so I really
yeah.
need to owe it to myself to make sure that I'm getting these numbers up as high as I can.
Yeah, and what we track, it's about tracking. We'll talk about this as well, because when we track something, it's more likely to stick. So that's why, and Rick keeps talking about this journal. So in here, we touch on all those points every morning and every night when you're looking at it. You're sort of having to write this down. So it gives you an awareness around it. So, Rick's 82, Gina's 84. Great. Um, yes, it will be recorded, Carly, so you can watch this back. Any questions, you can let me know. Um, Our aim is to get to 80 plus. So great work, Gina. And Rick's already doing the journal. So that's great. So that's where we want to hit. This is 80 plus, this person here. And this is, say, 30 or 40, right? What I want you to look at is sort of like an iPhone battery. Like you're not going to leave the house with a 30% battery on your iPhone for the whole day, right? So why do we do it to ourselves, right? And a lot of this is really basic stuff that we just forget, right? It's easy to go watch Netflix till 11 o'clock and go to bed at 12 or whatever. It's easy to sit on the couch instead of exercise or eat takeaway instead of eating well. We know what we should be doing, but it's the discipline and habit around it that really affects us. So we want to be hitting 80 plus. Um, so when we look at this, we go, "Hey, what are the one, if you're lower than you want it to be, and I always aim for 80 plus, and I do this regularly with myself because it does change, like depending on a lot of different factors. So look at the 1 or 2 that you would like to move up a bit. Okay, that one's a bit low. And then we parameters around what that looks like. How can I, okay, if it's sleep, all right, what do I need to do differently? All right, I need to be able to get to bed at this time so I can wake up at this time, etc. Or, hydration. All right, I want to make sure I have a bottle of water with me all the time, right? Because if you don't, it's harder to drink. So set yourself up for success with these things and aim for that, bring that score up for yourselves. Now, if you're watching the replay, do this as well. Sorry, my dog's going crazy out there. Does that make sense for everyone where we want to be sitting here?
Makes
Now,
perfect sense, mate. And once again, yeah, this had a direct impact on the time I went to bed. Even though I read everything, like I knew about it, I knew the importance of sleep, but for some reason, writing it down, and as you said, there's a quote that I love that which gets measured gets managed.
yeah.
And when you're not actively measuring something, then it's just hard to manage it. But then when you do start, then it's like, right, cool, I need to adjust my bedtime here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not about being perfect. Like obviously, when Rick was when you're in WPPI, you're going to be out. You're going to be probably drinking, going to be out later. It's not about being perfect here. It's just like where you want to sit most times. When you're a normal day, this is where you want to be sitting. Um, So Gina asked, what if you go to bed at 9 but can't fall asleep till 11, no phones, no light, no other distractions? Yeah, so it's about looking at why and your body, and we all have a circadian rhythm, right? So sometimes when we're shifting things, you have to slowly shift as well, because some people, if you're used to going to sleep at 11, for example, like consistently over a long period of time, if you try to go to bed at 9, it's not going to work effectively. So it might be 11, and then you're slowly trying to bring it back, right? And it is setting yourself up like, all right, off screens an hour before bed, not eating too much, like an hour or two before bed, like eat a bit earlier. Because, same drinking alcohol, your body's trying to metabolize things and it's still awake. Um, Meditating before bed can be really good, and reading a book or journaling, like just to get those thoughts out as well and slowly sort of bring it back. That can be my suggestion there. Um, So this is all about, are you running the day or is it running you? And what I mean by that is this is why we're going to look at the morning ritual and why I do and why I get my clients to do this is because if you don't do have a really powerful morning ritual, you sort of tend to get up and you're putting fires out all day. So you might be getting up and you quickly got to get the kids ready for school, them out the door, you jump on your computer, you're checking emails. By the time it gets to 10:30 and you've done nothing because you're just putting fires out all day. But when you start really purposefully in the right energy and headspace, everything slows down. You got more time, you got more awareness around things. So we want to be running the day. We don't want it to be the opposite, right? And this is sort of, I guess, a quote on goal setting more than anything, but we overestimate what we can achieve in a day. So we try to pack too much in on our to-do list on one day, but we severely underestimate what we can achieve in a year when we day stack, when we're stacking powerful days together. And that's sort of what we're going to look at here. So let's talk about habit because habit requires, and the reason I put these two things is you have to understand what a habit requires. It requires discipline on the front end and delayed gratification. So what I mean by that is you have to have the discipline to stick with something long enough to see a result, which is the delayed gratification. So this is why people go on diets and they don't work, right? We go on a diet, we restrict what we're eating or whatever we're doing, and you don't see results. You're probably not going to see results for 3 to 4 weeks at least, maybe 2 months, but no one has the discipline to stick with it, understanding that. It's the same in business, right? It's the same in the morning ritual. You might meditate for 3 days and go, this is a waste of time. But I guarantee you, if you meditate for 3 months, you're going to transform your life if you consistently do it, right? So when we understand, okay, I'm going to start this habit. I know it's not going to do anything for quite a while, but I'm going to stick with it long enough to get that result. That's what we need to look at. Like everyone knows how to lose weight, right? You exercise more and eat less shit. It's really simple, but not many people have the discipline and delayed gratification understanding to do it, right? Because it's hard. So this little analogy, I love this little chart here. So when you know, and I'll just sort of explain it to you. So hard decisions might be going to bed early instead of staying up late, eating healthy instead of eating shit, exercising instead of sitting on the couch. These are hard things in the moment, gives you an easier life. Easy decisions is a harder life. This can be business or personal. So the person who gets out of their comfort zone and really markets and talks to other businesses and puts some pressure on themselves and does some things that you're not really comfortable to, all of a sudden get heaps of leads and your business is a lot easier. Or if you just decide you're going to distract yourself with editing and retouching and Facebook, then you got shit, I've got no leads and it's a struggle. Same with life, with your health and fitness. So looking at there's going to be a hard point somewhere. Do it on the front end or the back end. What sort of results do you want? So it's really important to understand that because we live in a world now, and this is why it's harder now than ever has, because we live in a world of wanting everything now. It's the instant gratification world we live in. That's why we go to Facebook and Instagram to get that hit of adrenaline to get out of reality. But it takes looking at it a longer term and really understanding that. Now, energy and frequency. Now, habits will help you consistently show up with the energy and frequency we need to create the results that we desire. Now, energy and frequency are two slightly different things. The energy, you do those habits, you're going to feel the energy and feel energized to be productive and focused, which is that 80 plus. Frequency is the mindset and the thought patterns we have because every thought's putting out a frequency, we're like a radio tower or a radio. It's putting out, and this is science. This is not woo-woo. We are putting out frequencies all the time. You can walk in and meet someone and instantly have a feeling about them that you like them or don't like them. That's a frequency, right? That's an energy and frequency that people go, oh, it's something about them I really just are drawn to, or the opposite. Now, think of people in your life. You've got people that give you energy and people that suck your energy, right? That's all frequency. So you might get on a phone call with, might be your mum, your brother, your friend, and they're just fucking complaining all the time. You leave that conversation and you feel flat, right? There's people in your life like that. You might love them, but there's people in your life like that. There's people you get off a phone call with them when you go and you feel energized, right? They lift you up. You want to be someone that lifts people up. Like if you're doing that with your clients, they're going to trust you more. They're going to buy more from you. They're going to buy again from you. They want to be around you. You want to be around people that make you feel good, right? And you sort of limit the amount of time you're around people that don't. So what this is all about, what we're going to be touching on here is getting your frequency and energy up to a high level. So you're way more productive. People want to be around you. You're drawing things, people, places, and experiences to you that are going to align with where you want to go. It's like when you do this, the universe is co-conspiring with you to move you towards your greater goal. That could be business or life, or whatever it is for you. So what are you drawing towards yourself is the question. Now, some of you, if you've heard me talk, you know I bang on about the morning ritual, which I'm going to take you through now. Some of it, this is a bit more detailed in here, obviously, but let's start with what we're doing first thing in the morning. So number one is getting up 20 minutes earlier than you normally would to do this. Now, that's a hard decision on the front end for easy on the back end. Most people don't want to get up in the morning. It's one of the hardest things for people to do, right? But what we want to do, I'm going to take you through a simplified version of what I do in the journal. And if you just start there, it'll help immensely. So does anyone here have like James or Gina, do you have a morning ritual at the moment? Cool. All right. You're going to love this. So getting up 20 minutes earlier than you normally would, get up, go to the toilet and have a big drink of water or some sort of liquid because it wakes the body up. Then you just want to do a 10-minute, just start with 10 minutes. 20 minutes is ideal, but 5 or 10 minute meditation. There's an app called One Giant Mind, and that's the one I recommend. It's a free app. You can download that and it guides you through a Vedic meditation. Now, most of you won't do this. And those watching the replay, most of you won't do this, I know, but 30 days. All you have to do is stick with this for 30 days. And trust me, if you do that, you probably will never stop. All right, so 10-minute meditation. Now, with the meditation, most people stop meditating because they don't think it's working because they go, I can't stop thinking. No shit. It's exactly why we're doing it, right? It's not about fit. People think meditation is this blissed out state that you're going to feel amazing and it's all awesome. No, it's hard work. It's called a meditation practice because it takes a lot of practice. I've been doing this for 8 or 9 years and it's still hard, but the benefits are phenomenal. So what we're doing when we're meditating is we're releasing stress and we're practicing present moment awareness. Now, when you're present, which most of us aren't most of the time, when we're present, we're way more focused, way happier, way more fulfilled, and you get way more done. Like it's like chalk and cheese. It's like everything slows down and reality slows down. You can get so much done and you can be very aligned with what you're doing. So just 10 minutes. Then we do the 3 by 3. Now, this is on my link if you want to get a journal, but if not, you just do this basic one in the Instagram profile. So the 3 by 3 is the main thing you want to do. 3 things you're grateful for. These are all really simple things, but no one does it. Gratitude is one of the most simple things you can do and one of the most powerful for your frequency and energy. So what are 3 things you're grateful for? Write them down, but don't just phone it in. Don't just be like my dog, my kids, my husband, or my wife, or whatever. Be specific with it. Like it might be, you know, the hug my son gave me yesterday. It might be something that you're just a moment. You're looking at moments, right? And this is really important when you're having a shitty day or a shitty week and you go, there's nothing to be grateful for. There always is, right? You got clothes on, you got food in your belly. There's always something to be grateful for. So write it down and feel it. It's important to feel it because that feeling of it's the important part. Because gratitude is the ultimate form of receivership. So when you're in a grateful state, you're drawing more of what you want towards you. It's a frequency thing, right? That's number one. Then 3 things that would make today great. So looking at your day, look at what you got on and go, all right, it would be great. I've got a wedding client coming in today. It'd be great if they came in and booked my highest package and paid in full. Put out what you want to happen. Because what we do as humans, we put out what we don't want. We go, I hope it doesn't rain. Hope that client turns up. Like we put all this negative out there. When you're putting what you want out, the chance of it happening, way higher. And some crazy stories, like from my clients writing stuff down, it happens. Like it just putting that frequency out again. You're putting out a frequency, like your thought or you're writing it down is putting out a frequency and it's trying to draw it towards you. And the last one is 3 things, your 3 intentions for the day. So it's sort of, this could be 1, 2, or 3, depending on how busy you are, but it's like, if these are the 3 things I want to get done today. This is sales, marketing, business. It's not retouching. It's not editing. It's not those things. It's what's going to help my business thrive. So it might even be training your VA to do a specific task that you don't want to do anymore. That might be it. It might be looking at a marketing strategy you're not doing anymore, or you need to do, or reaching out to another business. Usually it's things that you put off or you don't want to do that are going to make your business stronger. And then you just time block those 3 things in the diary for the day. So, yeah, it's 9 o'clock here. So you go, all right, we've got the training call at 9 to 10 or 9 to 10:30, whenever we finish. And then it's like, all right, from 10:30 to 11, I'm going to do this one task. And you block it in. And you have to have the discipline to actually do it. Then you've got something else and you block another task in. When you do this, you're going to get way more done and be way more efficient with your time. And that's it. It's really simple. Now, what Rick was talking about with the journal, we're tracking other things. We're tracking hydration, nutrition, exercise. We're tracking a few more things. But that's the basic part of it. Then we look at our weekly winning habits. Now, this is in the journal as well, but I'm going to give you I can email you a PDF to look at this. But we're looking at those 5 areas of energy we talked about. And then we want to track them because, like what we track, we do, right? So every week, this is an example one in the book. You go, all right, start of the week. Okay, I want to meditate you put a goal, the habit you want to do, and you put a goal. I want to do it 7 days. I want to do it every morning. I want to do the morning ritual every morning. I want to go to the gym 3 times a week. I want to eat, and nutrition here say, okay, I want to eat really healthy 6 out of 7 days. And then I want to learn or read, like that might be a podcast or a book or a training like this 4 times, 10,000 steps, message of love and connection, which I'll come to, mindfulness practice, which I'll also come to, and then the nighttime routine. So just sort of like Gina was talking about, how do I wind down? What's my nighttime routine? Right. And then you track Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, how you're going. And this example, 46 out of 50. So that total 50, and you can keep track of where you're at. And then you keep track of your energy and how you're feeling. Go, wow, when I 45 to 50, I'm feeling really good. Or when I have weeks that I don't do this, I don't get as much done. I feel a bit confused of what to do. And this is really powerful to track. Once again, most of you won't do this, but can be very powerful. So let's come to productivity. Now, you guys are obviously already on top of this, working with Rick, getting VAs involved is all about your productivity, right? So getting, what I'd call the $10 jobs in your business as the business owner off your plate, and you do the $1,000 jobs. So what you want to be doing as a business owner is shooting, marketing, and selling, mainly 90% of those things there. That's your genius zone. So what we tend to do, and this is about productivity, and what I mean by stolen focus is this steals your focus all the time. Every time it buzzes or goes off, and let's say you're doing a task and you stop because you get a message and you flick in and check Instagram, whatever, most of the time it won't be a 30-second thing. You'll probably be on it for 4 or 5 minutes, but also, even if it is 30 seconds, when you come back, you're losing 5 to 10 minutes of productivity because you're out of your flow and you go, oh, where was I up to? What was I doing? You sort of go back a bit, check what you're doing. So every time that happens, you're losing flow. Now, we touch this on average 2,617 times a day, which is nuts. That's average. How many times do you touch your phone on average, right? So have a think, and the average screen time is well over 3 hours for a normal person, right? Some of it's up to 8. So check your screen time and look at when you say you haven't got time for stuff, check your screen time. You've got time. You're just giving it away. Your focus is going over here. So little tips is like when you're in, like I've got a drawer here, I'll put this in my drawer. So it's not in front of me. I turn off all my notifications except for my kids and text message and my wife. So there's no notifications going on. So these are little tips you can do. Put on airplane mode, like check your emails twice a day and put your phone and your computer on airplane mode if you don't want distractions, and watch how much you get done compared to just letting yourself get distracted, right? One of the reasons we get distracted is because we're looking, when we get stuck on a task or something that's a bit out of our comfort zone, a bit hard, we dive into picking our phone up to get that hit of adrenaline or whatever it might be for our body, right? To the distraction. It's a distraction thing. So you have to be focused around this and understand that. And then there's the switch cost effect. So this is like a multitask type of thing. So there's no such thing as multitasking, right? Because when we try to do it, women are better at men than this because I know their brain capacity is probably high, but even women aren't like when you're multitasking, you're doing a shitty job at a few things, right? So we're trying to listen to a podcast on double speed, or we're trying to do this other thing, and this is over here, right? You're not doing anything effectively. So just pick one thing because they say when you're doing multitasking, you're about 30%, at least 30% less productive. So do one thing at a time. Generally, we're doing multitasking and things like that because we're stressed about time. We're trying to do too much, right? So it's all about slowing down to speed up. So we'll come to that in a sec, but it's going to sound counterintuitive, but it really works. And boundaries and structure. Like, have you got boundaries and structure around your business? Do you have any? What I mean by that is, do you have specific times that clients can contact you? Do you have specific times that you can do appointments? Or are you just doing them whenever? So I remember when I started my photography business doing weddings, I would do, whenever. I would work whenever. And sometimes I was working 3, 4, 5 nights a week, just meeting clients because that's what they want. Then I'd work on weekends doing the weddings and stuff. And it became too much. I'd burn out. So then I put clear structures around it. All right, we do wedding meetings on Tuesday nights. That's it. And if they wanted to meet up, that's when they had to do it, or it's during work hours. So putting boundaries in place, because if you don't, your clients will take advantage and they'll just book you whenever. So I've got clear days, and other things I would recommend you do is have a time every week for marketing slash business. So there's a 4 hour block every week for me that's marketing slash business, and that's it. It's blocked in. Jacinta, who works for me, knows I can't book anyone in there, and I have my times, and I'm pretty structured with this. Like when people can book in a call with me, when I've got my marketing and strategies, when I'm doing my webinars for my groups, it's all very structured. So have you got that? When we don't, it comes back to a lack mentality. Like it's like, oh, I have to take it now. I have to take that job now just in case I don't get any later. So we're in that lack mentality, not an abundance mentality. And that's a shift we need to look at to get back in control. Does anyone have any questions around that? Oh, good. All right, stress and control. Now, you've all been in business long enough to know it's fucking stressful at times, right? You've gone through moments where you probably wanted to pack it all in. If you haven't, you probably haven't pushed yourself enough. But I know being in business 20 plus years, there's been plenty of times where I've gone, nah, it's too hard. I'm going to get a job, right? And it's all about stress and comes back to that burnout. But when we're in a constant state of stress, we're not being present and we're projecting ourselves and our thoughts into an unwanted future. So stress is all about the future and about what could go wrong. And the way our brain works, it's looking for threats. So it's always looking for worst case scenarios. So the way it works is if, it seems backwards, but if you send your thoughts out into the future and go through all the worst case scenarios, if they happen, you're prepared. That's what the thinking is, right? That's why we do it. But it's really about understanding that's not helping you. It's getting you in the wrong frequency. It's putting stress on your body and your mind. And we're in the future. We're not present. So we're not being productive either, and we're not doing what we should be doing. So it's bringing it back and not letting it go. So I know this is probably too deep for a conversation like this, but if you understand that voice is automatic, it's not you, you're the one witnessing it, and it's just that automatic voice that everyone has that goes to worst case scenario, you can understand that you don't have to chase it there. So it's about bringing your attention back to the present moment and moving it towards where you actually want to go, what you actually want to be doing, which is the next task, the next action step, or the goals you have, or where you're taking the business, not where that thought's taking you. Because the simple fact is the future is anything but certain, as we've learned over the last 4 years, you have no control over most of it. All you have control over is how we think and what actions we take and where we're giving our awareness. Now, you can't control COVID, what Trump does, like all these things. The weather, there's so many things out of our control that we stress about, right? So just bring it back to what you can control, which is how you react to these things and what actions you're going to take moving forward. And that will reduce your burnout dramatically and your stress. So this is where we come to slowing down to speed up. So one of the things with meditation that people believe is you'll hear yourself say it. And trust me, if you do this long enough, you'll hear yourself say, I haven't got time to meditate. Now, we've got 1,440 minutes in every day. Everyone's got the same. You can take 10 minutes to not do anything, right? Like I said, look at your screen time on your phone. Trust me, you've got time. This is where when you slow down, and that's doing the mindfulness practices we're going to be talking about, and there's a reason we do it, is you actually speed up. And what I mean by that is you get way more done. You're way more effective, and your frequency and energy is getting shit done for you without actually having to be a hamster on the wheel. So, you know, I always use Elon Musk as an example. Love him or hate him, the man runs six of the biggest companies in the world on 1,440 minutes a day, same as us. We're just trying to run this one little business, right? And we don't have enough time. Now, why is that? It's how he thinks and operates is very different, right? And you don't have to agree with him or like him. But you can take some learnings from this. Now, why we want to slow down is because there's a part of the brain called the default mode network. Now, what that is, it's a part of the brain that gets only as active when you're not doing anything, meditating, daydreaming, sitting, breathing exercises, some of these mindfulness practices. What's happening when that gets activated? It's taking information from all the different parts of the brain, bringing them together, and giving you that inspiration, ideas, and things to move towards. So most of you will realize you have your best ideas in the shower or when you're running or when you're walking or when you're not doing anything. That's because this is the only time this part of the brain is active. This part of the brain was active way more 10, 15 years ago before social media, before how everything's sped up. Most people do not activate it at all because they go to the toilet, they'll take their phone, you're lining up for a coffee. You watch everyone line up for a coffee, they're all on their phones. No one's just being anymore. The more you can stop and just be with your thoughts, the more powerful you'll be. And it's a really just being aware of it, being aware every time you pick up your phone. Like this morning, I was waiting for my coffee. I picked my phone up and go, no, no, put it back in your pocket. Just let it sit, right? So this is a really easy one to do, but your mind will tell you haven't got time, right? So when you hear yourself go, I haven't got time for that, you got to stop. So my meditation teacher, her motto is anytime her brain tells her, she tells herself, I haven't got time to meditate, that's when she has to stop and she makes herself meditate. Doesn't matter what she's doing. Now, I remember once she made us wait like 25 minutes on a webinar because she decided she needed to meditate, right? That's how hardcore she was with it. So give yourself space and time every day to just be, because self-care isn't selfish. And what I mean by that, you can't fill up from an empty cup. So if you're highly stressed, you're not working, you're not looking after your health and fitness, you're not going to be a good business owner or mum or dad or partner or whatever, right? Work on you first, nail these things, and you're going to be much more aligned in every area. So in the book, in the journal, it asks, what are you going to do as a mindfulness practice today? And when are you going to do it? So you pencil it in. So I pencil it in like it might be go for a walk without listening to anything. It might be just sitting out in the deck out here in the sun with the dog. It might be a meditation. It might be a breathing exercise. These are all things you can do. It's more about not doing than doing. Like just literally sitting down for 10 minutes, put a timer on and sit down and just do nothing for 10 minutes. See how agitated you get. See how your mind starts to tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't be doing that. But one thing I want you to put down, especially James and Gina, because you're here live, but everyone else listening as well, just make it for the next week. I'm going to block out 20 minutes every day to do either a walk or sitting down. Not actually, just sit down and don't do anything because that'll be harder for you. Literally, just spend 20 minutes. You don't even have to meditate. Just sit there. That's it. And see what comes of it. Seeing how that works for you. Time block it in, like I said. Because some of these things, like a breathing exercise, can take like 1 or 2 minutes. It could be really powerful. Or you can go for a walk for an hour. So, also in the.
Gina's got a question there, Joel.
Oh, yes, Gina. Yes, coloring would be 100%. Because if you're doing something with your hands, like there's one I used to do with my clients was counting rice. So you put a cup full of like black rice and a cup full of white rice together in a bag, and you put it on a desk, and then you just got to spread it out and put the black rice and the white rice apart. So your hands are busy, but your mind's wandering, right? Because it's not taking up any brain space. Same as coloring. Yeah, coloring's very good. Same thing. Your hands are busy, but your mind is allowed to wander. So yes, you can do that. So it's a good question. Anything that doesn't require you thinking too much is the point. Yeah, so don't think too much about what colors to figure out. Then just color. Yeah. But this is in the journal as well every day. Like, what are you going to do today that's fun or joy or lights you up? So we take life and business so seriously all the time, especially on a Monday morning. It's like, oh, it's Monday morning. Like, really, let's get back into it. And it's like, you gotta also, what am I going to do that's a bit fun today? And it could be something really small. Could be jumping on the trampoline with your kids for 5 minutes. Could be playing with your dog in the backyard, whatever. But write a list of things that you do for fun or bring you joy. Just write them down. And then just pick one of those every day and just pop it in and go, okay, at 2 o'clock, I'm going to do this thing. That's it. Because well, for me personally, I have to remember to have fun sometimes because I get so zoned into my business and so focused on things that can go. And connection's a huge one. Now, why is this important? Like there's studies done on this. People who have the more connections and feel more connected to their community and their families and that live longer. Like it's a health benefit to be connected, right? When we connect, we grow. And prioritizing connection. So in the journal, it's like, who are you going to connect with today? Now, connection can be a quick text message to someone, it can be leaving a little sticky note in your wife's lunch for the day or your kids. It can be a phone call. It can be whatever you make it, right? It doesn't have to be this big thing. Like, hey, just thinking about you. Hope you have a great day. That's connection. What it does is makes you feel good, makes the other person like you don't know how you change people's days, right? You just write a quick message to someone thinking about them. That could make their day, right? This is energy, it's frequency you're putting out. But when we do it consistently, it helps. And we have to sort of make ourselves almost so we remember to do these things.
Joel, there's one of those studies is called the Grant study. It's the longest running study of all time. Going over 86 years now. And yeah, the finding basically they started tracking Harvard students, I think as undergraduates, and then they're like super old now. Some of them are dead, but then it started tracking their kids and then their grandkids, and so it was actually the impact of social connections, not just on their lives and their happiness and their view of success, but how that actually trickled down as well to their kids and to their grandkids. And yeah, as you said, even physical health, the greatest predictor of your health at 90 was the social connections you have at 60.
Wow. Yeah, that doesn't
Like
surprise
more than
me.
intelligence, more than wages, more than all the other stuff. It really came down to that.
Yeah. But when you think about it, it's not surprising because personally, I derive a lot of my happiness from the connections I have with people, like, friends, family, kids, all that sort of thing. And you feel connected, you feel a part of something as well. And that's why communities, like even like this community, Rick's community, like this is a community. You have a connection in there. Same with my groups. I have a community and we have a connection there, a touch point. Um, but that's great. Now, this is an important one. Like your word is your wand. What I mean by that is both your spoken and internal voice, so your thoughts are putting out energy and frequency, right? So choose your thoughts and words carefully because they actually craft our life. And like take this certain words like I say, and I sort of pick my clients up that you shouldn't use. Like I say to them, all right, this is what I want you to do. And I go, yeah, cool, I'll try to do that. Now, as soon as you say the word try, it means you've given yourself an out without even knowing it, right? So if you go, oh, I'm going to set my alarm for the morning, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to try to go to the gym. You're not going, right? As soon as you put the word try, like you can't try to pick up a chair. You either fucking pick it up or you don't, right? So don't lie to yourself and just say try and you'll notice when you're saying it now and you go, oh, I'm giving myself an out. And take can't out of your vocab, like I can't do that. Because as soon as you say you can't do something, you can't. You blocked yourself straight away, right? And there's other things to take out, like all the absolutes, like everyone, everything, no one, nothing. They're words you should take out because I hear my clients saying, no one's got money. Everyone's struggling, right? It's not actually true. But when you say it, you think it's true and that's your reality. So whatever you're saying is your reality. And one of the words sort of phrases I get my clients to say, particularly with economy and stuff, is that doesn't apply to me. So why is there photographers dominating and making more money than they've ever made before, where other photographers, all they're seeing is limits and like, no one's got money. No, I can't do this, right? It's their thoughts. It's not the quality of their work. It's how they're showing up, how they're thinking. And phrase everything as a question, not a statement. So it's like, I haven't got money for that. Change that to how do I find the money for that? I've got no clients. How can I find some clients? When you put it as a question, it puts out possibility, right? Okay, let's look at it. And you start to find solutions to where there's only blocks. And that's what I want to leave you with. But um, every time I do one of these, we give away a couple of coaching calls to clients that are, or potential people that want to dive into this a bit more or anything specific around that. So you can click on here. I'll put the link in the chat as well. I'll have to do it. And there it is. Um, those watching the replay, I'll leave it open as well because I know Carly and I think there's a few others who want to watch the full replay, so you can enter that as well. Um, but we'll go into questions now. And if anyone watching the replay has a question that we didn't answer, just send it through to me or send it through to Rick and he can relay it to me and or just email me or Insta message me is probably the best at Johl Dunn there and we can go through that as well. But let's go through any questions that we haven't. Um, I know Gina had one specifically. So do you want me to sort of address that, Gina, about how the social media with the VA works? So it's a good question. So Gina's question was how to work with social media, but with your VA, but retain your personal brand and voice. So the way I look at it, and I do this not with a VA, sort of, as like Jacinta, who works for me. She's in Melbourne and she's worked with me for years, but she does all social media stuff. So we created a strategy around our social media that this is what we want it to look like. So this is the feeling and the emotion or the vibe we want. And this is how many times we're going to post a week. And this is what sort of posts we're going to be doing. We sort of broke it down. So the problem we can get to when we're photographers is we become too reliant on our pretty photos. So you go pretty photo, pretty photo, pretty photo, and it's just photos. There's no brand awareness, there's no you in it, and there's sort of it's not as interesting. So what I mean by what you should be doing is like you need to be showing it you like videos. And I know a lot of photographers hate getting on camera, but show yourself, talk about what you do, educate your clients, like give them value because there's a thing called parasocial relationships. And a parasocial relationship is where you need to be now is you need to be the business, you as the person. So if you look at like same as Elon, right? Tesla isn't Tesla, it's Elon Musk, right? All these companies now, it's about the brand more than the company, even the big ones. But especially for us, you are the brand. So when you can get a parasocial relationship, it means people trust you because you're an authority figure in that area. So, Jenny, you can be an authority figure in, do you do weddings or what? Sorry.
Sorry, I'm muting. Yeah, kids, families, kindergartens, babies.
Okay, perfect. So you can be an authority around kids and families, right? And talking about like it's an ed like we want to educate, we want to excite as well, and we want to entertain. They're the three things you want to be doing on your social media. So people go to social media to be entertained. Like people want to laugh or have a bit of fun with it. People want education. So what are we doing? And inspiration is the other one. Like, you can put your pretty photos up still, but like for like we have like four, I think 5 or 6 topics that of different what we call different posts. Right. So it might be a Facebook Live that I do or like a quick tip Tuesday is one of the things we do where I'm giving a tip. And there's different ones, right? So what I do is every month we'll look at what I need to do and Jacinta will go, hey, I need 6 quick tip Tuesdays from you. I need this many lives on this. I need this and this. And then I go do all the content because it's me that I need to be on there. And I'll just Dropbox it and then she'll put it in for the month. So it takes me, I would say, 4 hours a month and I'll just bulk do it all in one day. And I'll just do all the videos and all the things I need to do and just send it to her. And then she makes it look pretty and puts it in every day she needs to do it and does all the stuff your VA could do.
Yeah.
So yeah, sort of breaking it down to what you want to achieve and what you want to be doing, and definitely get yourselves on camera more. And it's not what you want to do, trust me, but it's really powerful for your brand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions?
Joel, how
Yeah.
did you sorry, go James, you're on.
Oh no, yeah. I was just curious. One of the issues I deal with a lot, and twofold is because a lot of what you've been talking about today is, um, I like, kind of like you know how to eat right, you know how to exercise. A lot of what you're talking about today is like, yes, I know this stuff is works. But a lot of my issues come around with the consistency of it and stay in. And you talk about block the time off. Well, if I block the time off, then the time management skills come into play to like, okay, well then that 2 o'clock time I blocked off, I was feeling really tired at that point and I didn't do it, or things like that. So if you could address that, and then I guess the follow up then was kind of related is just the decision paralysis. I find myself a lot of times I just sit down. I'm like, okay, now what? So.
Yeah, and I think you got to start slow. So obviously we went through a lot here, and you can go, shit, I need to eat better. I need to start doing this. I need to get up early, and it's too much, right? So you just start really simply. If there's one thing you want to do is just do the meditation in the morning at 3 by 3. That's it. Because when you do that consistently, you'll feel different. You'll show up like you'll have more awareness and um, about, the analysis paralysis, like you talked about, because we're doing it, you'll feel more aligned and you'll be able to make decisions quicker. So that'll stop that. And your energy levels will be higher and you'll start to slowly build things. So like there's a conscious commitment sheet I can give you, or just message me on Insta, and I can send it to you. It's like a sheet that I give my clients. So it's just like, all right, for 30 days, and all my clients have to do this at the start. 30 days tracking this. You're gonna do the morning ritual, and when you track something, you do it, and when you're ticking it off, and 30 days is short enough that you go, okay, I can do 30 days, right? But it's long enough to actually feel a result as well. So most people, when they do this for something, you can come to a conclusion at the end. So it mightn't be the morning ritual, but I've done it. I just did a carnivore diet for 30 days. And you go at the end, there's questions to ask. Are you going to keep doing it? I'm like, well, no, I'm not. It's too restrictive for me, but I felt great. Like there's benefits from it. So I'm going to keep some of it. Like I did an ice bath, cold plunge for 30 days back a year and a half ago, and I kept doing that. I loved it. So I kept it in. Morning ritual, do it for 30 days. You might keep doing it, hopefully, because it does shift the way you show up. So it's having the commitment. That's why it's sort of conscious commitment. Commitment just to do it for 30 days, knowing that it's going to suck a bit at the start and you're going to feel a bit like this is not working. But do it for 30 days and you'll start to feel a shift. You go, oh, fuck. Okay, I am more productive now. I'm feeling different. I'm getting more done. I'm more focused. So that's sort of where I would start, James, and go from there.
Yeah, for sure. I like what you just said about it changes the way you're showing up. I think that's a lot of my decision paralysis. I don't show up right. I sit down, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, now it's time to
But
work, and I'm not there right.
But
So yeah.
decision and yeah, what you're talking about is a couple of things. One is maybe not having a really clear defined goal and strategy, which
Yeah.
is one of the first things I do with my clients. What's the goal? Okay, 400K. What's that look like? And we literally 50, 60 steps it's going to take to get there. And we map it out. Mine's up here and you can see it. And it's just like, all right, what's the next thing? So you almost know the next 6 to 12 months, everything you need to do and just follow the steps. So there's that. And then there's the self-trust. Like when we got what should I do? It's not backing yourself. It's not trusting yourself going, oh, I'm not sure if I can do that or that should be, it's a bit of that as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I find that a lot. My question myself, do I trust that do I need I guess I need permission to do a lot of things that
Hmm.
I can give myself permission, but I just don't do that. So
Yeah. And that's part of a lot of when I'm working with clients, a lot of time when they come in to when I'm coaching them, like their level of what they think is achievable or possible for them's here, where I can see it, they're actually up here and there's a gap. And that's usually the mindset and also the accountability. Because sometimes people just want me to go, yes, that is the fucking right move for you. Go do it. And you got to do it by next Tuesday. And they go, oh shit, all right, boom. And they go. Because when you're taking actions consistently, like I said, you're not going like this, you're going like that. And results dramatically shift because you go boom, 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 like consistently instead of what we tend to do. Yeah, sit there and overanalyze everything and overthink everything and pros and cons, this and that. Where when you do the morning ritual and get that right mindset, it's like thought, action, like really boom, done, right? Because don't confuse action with planning and overthinking and sitting there and worrying about it. Yeah, that's what slows us down. Yeah.
Joel, and this kind of follows on to James's as well, but like surely with your students, like nobody can deny the impact on not just their current lives, but like their future selves, of the impact of sleeping well, of exercising, nutrition, having social connections, having time for yourself, right? So what is the biggest blockage that you experience from your students in terms of them? So even though they understand it and they know that a life with those things is going to allow them to actually have better work relationships, love their job more, be a better, more present, partner, father, wife, mother, friend, all of that. What is it James's? Like, well, what is the biggest blockage that your clients experience in standing in the way for them making that time or prioritizing those things that they know actually helps them do the things that they think are more important?
Yeah, good question. It's probably two things. It's deservability. At a deep level, a lot of us don't think we deserve certain things. And even it might be subconscious, right? We don't deserve success. We don't deserve these things. So that blocks us subconsciously. But one of the big things is accountability, right? Like it's very hard to be accountable just to you because we let ourselves off the hook all the time. Like, I'm tired, so I'm going to sleep in. Like when you've got accountability, whether that's, a coach, obviously, or a partner, or you tell someone, or you have, someone you're going to, if you're going to go to the gym and you have a trainer that is waiting there at the gym, you're going to go, right? You've paid, and money's an accountability factor. If you pay a coach or a trainer, you're going to fucking show up and you're going to do the work, right? So every time I got stuck, still, I get a coach because I know I need accountability, right? I'm very good at it, but I know sometimes I need someone else to just kick me up the ass as well. But what I mean by deservability is like you need to understand you deserve the best in life. We all do, right? And understanding that you're worth your time and effort to do this. And just start small. When we do it, like I talk like this, there's a lot of stuff you can do. Just start really basic. All right, morning ritual. That's it. That's all I'm going to do to start with because you can overwhelm yourself sometimes with too many things. Like, and I get sometimes, I had a client the other day and she's like, there's too much here. Like, I don't know, I said, don't skip ahead. Just start here. But that's all you need to do. Like, you can only do one thing at a time. So when we have a big to-do list, the same thing, we get overwhelmed. Which one thing are you going to do? Just pick that and do that and just focus on that. Yeah.
Have you ever had your clients use virtual assistants for that accountability? So when
Yeah.
you've got a human on the other end that's you're dealing with every day that can then pop in and say, "Morning, Joel. What are you grateful for today? Have you done your exercise today?"
I think it's a great idea. And I
You just
use,
got another person that's in your life that's it's part of their task, their daily task is to ask you those questions and
prompt
keep
it.
you
Yeah,
accountable.
I think it's a great idea. And Jacinta sort of does that for me, who was sort of like my VA is, she'll go, all right, I need, for the social media stuff, she go, like, yes, last week, because I'm going to New Zealand on Wednesday, she goes, all right, before you go to New Zealand, I need boom, 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 right? She tells me what she needs from me for the social media and that. So that gives me my accountability. But there's a balance between when I'm coaching someone, it's like, what I'm trying to do is get them to a point after the 12 weeks where they're ready. They can go and do it by themselves. Like they've got that self accountability. What I don't want is people to be reliant on me as their coach either. So there's that balance. Like you keep a lot of accountability in the training, but what we're trying to do is get them to a point at the end where they can keep going. They don't need me anymore. They've got the tools, they've got the mindset to keep that accountability as well. But yeah, you can use your VA for that to start with for sure. Go, hey, every morning I want you to email me this.
Sometimes it's that person that just ask you that question, what are you grateful for? Because if you haven't, I don't know, whatever, found the time to write it in a journal or to think about it and ask yourself, but now you've got someone and so putting it there in your and you've asked them to. What are you grateful for today?
Hmm. And like I said, a lot of the stuff I just talked about is very simple, right? And we all know it, but why aren't we doing it? And that's why mindset is so powerful. Like, and to be aware of things is so powerful because, I know, going out, like I caught up with mates on Saturday night. I know going out drinking for 5 hours with my mates isn't the most healthy thing, but from a connection perspective, it was, right? So there's balances here. Like it's not like don't drink and don't eat crappy food and get up at 6 o'clock and do an ice bath. It's not about that. It's about what's right for you, right? And that's why I do a balance. Like, yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to do this, but then I'm going to go out with my mates and have a good night. And then I'm going to, eat McDonald's sometimes or whatever, right? It's a balance. Thanks, Gina. You
Barb's,
ever
you got
got
any
it?
questions? Any questions for Joel?
No, I'm all good actually. It was very lovely, Joe. I think every single thing just came on there. Yeah, I'm gonna start have decided on a gratitude journal because I do write them down. So I think just being able to structure them and time block it was very, very helpful. And I particularly like the fact when you mentioned to slow down, to speed up. On that one, I think that was something I needed to hear on that one. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's about giving ourselves permission to slow down, or me giving you permission to slow down, like because we feel like we have to be go, go, go all the time. But I know when I'm in that mentality, that's when I need to slow down because I know I'm on the way to stress or burnout if I'm in that mentality. So it's like, all right, how do we pull this back a bit? Yeah.
Something I do love about even like flights. Just had a couple of long ones, and it's where particular well, it's the difference between flying by yourself and flying with other people. But I've got a 14-hour flight where I'm disconnected from everyone else and everything, and it's amazing what could happen. I always make sure I bring a diary because I find that I don't know. Things come so much more easily to me when I'm tuning out of all the rest of that life that's usually throwing problems. And I guess yeah, there's a term called non-demand time, which I really resonated with. And when you're in it, then yeah, it's amazing how the brain opens up. And yeah, I read a lot about the default mode network, and makes perfect sense. And being in the sauna for me as well is another time when
Yeah.
literally, because I don't know, free of device and other, I don't know, stimulations, and so it's just literally your body feeling good and then your mind going to town.
Yeah, and like every time I get stuck with an idea, I need some inspiration, I'll just go for a walk for an hour. And 9 times out of 10, you come up with some great ideas. And sometimes not about what you want, it's something totally different, but it's just like that time. I'm trying to get ready for this retreat in New Zealand. I've got heaps to do and I'm really busy, but I'm blocked out time to go for a walk today because I know I'm going to need it. I know I'm going to need that reset, around 12, 1 o'clock to be able to look after myself to, my mind's going to tell me I'm not going to have time for it. So I know that already. I'm just going to do it. So I block it in. Yeah.
Yes, mate. Weapon, mate. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Actually, before I'm curious, what literature you've read there? Because in my mind, I'm also going over the books of the things you're talking about that are of my own recommendations. But I'm curious what literature you recommend that you find has the biggest impact for getting on board with this stuff.
Oh, good question. I love books. I read all the time. I think that this one of the two of the books from Michael Singer, The Untethered Soul and The Surrender Experiment are two really cool books, just for the way we think and mindset and that sort of thing. I'd say probably those two I'd recommend highly. There's ones like the 5 a.m. Club, which are great for morning rituals and why. Then there's A Happy Pocket Full of Money, which is a really cool book about quantum creating, quantum physics. It's pretty hardcore, but it's phenomenal. It's really powerful.
Yeah, mate. Cheers. Dude, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, wanted to personally thank you again for the last talk of yours, which went over the same stuff, but having started implementing it and seen the impact that it's had not just on me but on my family and then on friends around me, it's been awesome.
No
Um,
problem at all. Thanks for
so
having
yeah,
me.
even though it was like knowledge that I'd read elsewhere for some reason, it was just it was hearing you saying it that triggered it for me. So thank you for being that.
Not a problem. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming, James. And yeah, anyone watching the replay,
Yeah,
any
thank you.
questions, just reach out and look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, Rick,
All
in my
right,
group.
cheers, brother.
Thanks, guys.
See you,
See ya.
everyone. Thanks,
Bye.
mate.